Hey y'all, welcome to the Clock Tower. I'm Colton, here with Brandon. 5 cards, 5 minutes. First look at rares and double rares for Tokyo Revengers. Brandon, what's our first card?
First up, we have this Draken. It is your 1/1 7/5 with hand on core, standby target at 1. However, if you have the standby climax in your climax zone, this card gains a standby trigger anywhere. So what that means is, effectively, when you trigger this card during the turn that you have that standby in play, this counts as an additional standby in your deck. Notably, it's only when the climax is in your climax zone, so you can't use it defensively that way. But offensively, you can use this as an additional standby trigger to continue to bring your bigger bodies out early. This effect we typically refer to as 12 standby, because effectively you're acting as adding an additional 4 standby climaxes during that trigger phase.
Yeah, if you were ever playing standby and thought, I wish I had more ways to get massive bodies on board, here you go. Next, the standby top end Mikey Delinquent Days, heals on play. Combos of standby, pay 3, ditch 1, reveal a copy of this card in your hand. At the end of this card's attack, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your opponent's library. You can choose up to 3 characters from those 3 cards, and as long as the sum of the power of the characters you choose out of those 3 is the power of this card or lower, those cards can go in clock in any order. Everything else goes into waiting room. So you swing at the end of your attack, top check your opponent's top 3 cards. Anything that is an event or a CX automatically goes to waiting room. Out of the rest of those characters, you can put them into clock as long as their collective powers don't eclipse this card's power. So if this card swings in at 10, because it's just this card, you can add the character's powers in those top 3 cards that you checked until they reach 10,000 power. And once you get to 10,000 power, you put those characters that you've chosen into your opponent's clock. Everything else goes to the waiting room. If this swings in at 14, if it has power pump plus a back row support of some kind, then you can put characters in your opponent's clock, adding up to 14,000 power.
It's also going to be really interesting to see because you can't cancel that damage because it's put directly from deck into clock. Next up, we have this level 3. First ability is a pay 1. You can salvage climax from waiting room to bring it back to hand when placed on stage. Has a climax combo itself. When you have the pants top end, at the end of this card's attack, you can pay the cost, which is pay 8, discard 3, and put 4 other characters under this as markers, and discard the climax. You can choose character named Mikey Kidsmeal from waiting room and put it on top of this card and put it and this as markers for that card. With that in mind, that card itself, when placed on stage, can choose a character, put it down as a marker underneath it from waiting room if it's placed from hand. On attack, you can discard all markers under it and burn 1 for the number of instances of markers you have. So if you just have the 1 marker, it's burn 1. If you have the 5 markers from the combo, it's burn 1 5 times. And then at the beginning of Encore step, if you have no other rested characters, you can pay 1 and rest it. Pretty explosive endgame, but it's also very expensive to pull off.
To pull off the full board of this, in theory, you could have 2 of these Mikeys and 1 of the Bajis, replace the Baji with 1 of these Mikeys, and swing with the Mikey as well and have all those burns. You could have 3-1, 3-1, 3-3, 1-1, 1-1, 1, if everything goes perfectly. It's expensive, it's explosive, it's very weird. That just seems to be what Tokyo Revengers does. Next, we have no time left. Takemichi and Hina, a future where you're saved. Gains 2,000 if you have 2 or more other characters. Resonates with the level 3 choice combo. On climax play, resonate, look it up to 2, add 2 that are either characters or the yellow event. It's coterie from Dal, but not on attack. Stupid broken, and we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be back on Tuesday for Weiss 101. We'll have gameplay on Thursday, a clock talk a week from Tuesday, and uncommons and commons for this set Tokyo Revengers in 2 weeks. Until next time, thank you so much for joining us. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one.
We'll see you then.